There's a pretty absurd rumor running around about the freebies for the August PlayStation Plus titles, and I just find it absolutely ridiculous, but it's making the rounds on the internet right now, and I'm gonna try to debunk it. Is there an outside shot that this is real? Possibly. However, I want to give you guys a lot of insight as to why this probably isn't real, especially because it's noting that we're gonna be getting a couple of EA titles as the PlayStation Plus freebies for the month of August, and if you've been following news, you realize that that probably doesn't make a lot of sense. We'll talk all of that in a little bit. Outside of that, also want to talk some major JRPGs possibly coming to the PlayStation 4 in the form of The Legend of Heroes, Zero no Kiseki, as well as Ao no Kiseki. We'll talk all that. Easy Allies had an interview a little while ago, and I thought I would bring you guys some insight on that as well. Moons of Madness got 12 minutes of gameplay. This is a game that not too many people are talking about, but it's a first-person, story-driven cosmic horror title, and it's due out timely this Halloween, so I wanted to give that game some shine at the end of this video. First up, Glitched Africa had a reader send them two images showcasing two games with the PlayStation Plus free symbol in the corner of the image. Those two games being Star Wars Battlefront 2 and EA Sports UFC 3. Now those games are actually pretty good freebies. Star Wars Battlefront 2, even on sale, usually goes for somewhere in the ballpark of $7.50, and EA Sports UFC 3, even when that goes on sale, it's around $15 to $20, I believe. So as freebie titles, those would be pretty good, and unlike a game like FIFA, I feel like a UFC game would be more of a game that even non-fans of the genre would be able to get into, just because it is viewed as more of a fighting game, but you guys get the idea. I would actually think that's a pretty good month if that came to fruition. However, I don't really buy this rumor just on the basis that EA Access is launching on the PlayStation 4 on July 24th. EA Access, one of the main selling points is of course the vault lineup of games, EA's backlog of existing games, whether it be Dragon Age Inquisition, whether it be Burnout Paradise Remastered, whether it be Star Wars Battlefront 2, and whether it be EA Sports UFC 3. So do you want to follow up the launch of EA Access right away, just a week or two after, and be like, okay, if you're a Plus subscriber, you'll get Star Wars Battlefront 2 and EA Sports UFC 3. Essentially, at that point, what you're doing is you're competing with yourself. Now, this does happen from time to time, especially on Xbox, where they have Game Pass, and then they have games with gold, and they have EA Access. There's a lot of crossover with the offerings. However, do you want to employ that idea of competing with yourself with multiple subscription services and lessening the value of your subscription services right away, just a week after EA Access launches? I'm not big into business, I'm not an absolute genius, but it doesn't take rocket science for me to tell you that this is a horrible idea from a business standpoint, and for that reason, I am saying that this is absolutely fake. It just makes no sense, and generally speaking, I don't believe we see a lot of EA titles as PlayStation Plus offerings. So you're telling me that EA Access is going to launch on July 24th, and you're going to follow that up with two EA games, which we generally don't see EA games as Plus offerings anyway, and we're going to get those EA titles as a part of Plus at the worst possible time? None of it makes sense. I don't think that these are going to be the Plus games. However, coming off of July, I do think it's paramount that Sony gets a pretty good month out of August. Not that July was necessarily bad, because they did remedy the situation. Originally, it was going to be Pro Evolution Soccer 2019 and Horizon Chase Turbo. Horizon Chase Turbo stuck around, but it seemed like Sony got a lot of flack for PES 2019, so they removed that and added Detroit Become Human Digital Deluxe Edition, which also included Heavy Rain Remastered, and that generally appeased gamers a lot more. However, we still have that idea that Sony wanted to offer us PES 2019 as one of the main games as a Plus title, and that rubbed us the wrong way. I think going into August, it would be a little paramount for them to offer something of quality. However, generally speaking, PlayStation Plus at this point is so unpredictable. Sometimes we get really great months like what we got in June, and then it's followed up with months like what was announced for July in PES 2019 and Horizon Chase Turbo. Horizon Chase Turbo is a pretty good game, but PES 2019 as a highlighted game, that just wasn't great for a lot of people. However, let's hope with the lineup in August, it is a little bit better. There's such a large repertoire of classic PlayStation 4 titles, games that released a few years ago, that you can offer a Gravity Rush Remastered, you could offer Gravity Rush 2. I could go through all of these games that I would like to see as a part of Plus, and games that I think would please gamers, and games that I don't think publishers would be so hell-bent in not putting on the service. They're older games, but they're great games nonetheless. Offer those games, and I do think gamers will be much more happy. However, as far as this rumor with Battlefront 2 and EA Sports UFC 3, I'm gonna have to give that a thumbs down, and I'm gonna have to say that's fake. Alright, moving on from that, Falcom is teasing modern ports of The Legend of Heroes Zero no Kiseki and Ao no Kiseki. Here's an interview that Kondo did with Easy Allies, and Kondo being the president of Falcom and Toshihiro Kondo. Easy Allies asks, I know you get this question a lot, so this is not going to be a new one for you, but I know a lot of very passionate Legend of Heroes fans would love to play the Crossbell games. Is there any chance of getting an official localization that people could enjoy? He responded saying the thing about both of those games is that they were originally developed for PSP in Japan, and later on they received what's called the Evolution versions of them in Japan, but at this point they are no longer able to be played on modern consoles. So what we want to do as a company, what we're actually starting to prepare for, is to be able to bring both of those games to modern consoles. So right now it's still in the very early stages and there's not much to be said about it, but as we do this and as those plans become a little bit more solidified, we would like to absolutely start talks with foreign publishers and things and get that conversation going to bring these games finally out to fans here in the West. It's a very interesting statement, so I think sooner rather than later these cross-belt titles will be coming stateside. Based on their modernization of these games, it doesn't really make a lot of sense if they're just looking to do a remaster and upping the visuals a little bit. I would love to see a full-on remake for these games. A remake that not necessarily it has to be at the level of some of these new JRPGs that are coming out, but at the level of Trails of Cold Steel. I think that would be really great to see. Now, I don't know if they are necessarily looking to go back completely to the drawing board and rework everything and recreate the games, but I do think if they do that, that would make these games resonate very well, and it's not like that would be a gigantic investment. You already have the engine in place with Trails of Cold Steel, you already have the storyboard in place. You know the story, you know everything. It's just about redesigning the game, which yes, is gonna be a pretty big undertaking, but at the same time, comparatively speaking to creating a brand new game, it's gonna be a much quicker process, and I think it is something that gamers would love to see, and at the end of the day, doing that at a quicker process, a lot of people would buy the games again in Japan, and then when the games do arrive over here in the West, let's say in that hypothetical scenario, they would sell very well over here as well, at least relatively speaking to how Legend of Heroes typically does. That's what I would like to see, and based on what they're saying, that they want to bring both of those games to modern consoles and the PSP versions and even the Evolution versions aren't good enough, I think a full-on remake is something I would definitely get behind. And again, you're selling multiple games here, so you remake one and hopefully that transitions the remake of the second game to be a little bit easier. I think overall from a financial standpoint, from a fan satisfaction standpoint, it makes sense for all parties involved. Alright, moving on from that, I also want to highlight a brand new story-driven survival horror game due out this Halloween in Moons of Madness. We've got 12 minutes of brand new gameplay. I'll leave a link to the entire gameplay demo in the description box below, but this looks to be an incredibly compelling game from publisher Falcom and developer Rock Pocket Games. Again, 12 minutes of gameplay are out, and I want to give you guys an overview of the game ahead of its release, as it is coming in October, again, Halloween Day, so it's a very timely release, and it notes a mysterious signal has been recorded coming from the Red Planet. The message confounded Orochi scientists. Their analysts broke it down and determined it was of intelligent origin. Orochi management immediately concluded that the discovery was too sensitive for public knowledge and moved to keep it hidden. In secret, the corporation began construction of Invictus, a state-of-the-art Mars research outpost designed to identify the true nature of the message. A technician stationed at the Invictus and your security clearance means you are completely unaware of the existence of the mysterious signal. Your job is to simply keep the lights on until the transport ship arrives, bringing with it a new team to take over your duties. Soon you discover strange and unusual setbacks. Crucial systems are malfunctioning, the greenhouse is filled with a strange mist, and the rest of your team has yet to return from their EVA mission. Things are beginning to fall apart and you begin seeing and hearing things that aren't there. Visions, hallucinations, or is that even what it is? Is this real, or are you slowly descending into madness? Experience the true cosmic horror. With your only hope of rescuing hundreds of thousands of miles away, you will be forced to explore the real-world fears of isolation and paranoia, enhanced with supernatural elements and cosmic horror. Terrifying visions and monstrous aberrations will make you question what is real and what is not, as the very fabric of reality threatens to tear at the seams. Explore the darker side of Mars. Navigate a functioning Mars base in a game that uses non-fiction elements to immerse players in believable settings, overcome obstacles using computers, electrical systems, rovers, solar panels, and more. Than go beyond the outpost and explore the darker side of Mars. Again, Moons of Madness is due out on the PlayStation 4 on October 31st, Halloween Day. A very timely release. Who knows how the game is going to turn out, but this is one I would keep an eye on. It could end up surprising a lot of you guys. And that's going to conclude this video. Again, as far as this August PlayStation Plus freebie rumor goes, I wouldn't put a lot of stock behind it. Star Wars Battlefront 2 and EA Sports UFC 3, while they would be quality offerings, with EA Access dropping on July 24th, why in God's name would EA want to compete with themselves and their own subscription service? And you know from the get-go, EA is going to want to establish a strong subscription base, so why compete compete with yourself, why hinder that result by offering Star Wars Battlefront 2 and EA Sports UFC 3 as plus offerings just doesn't make a lot of sense to me, especially because those two games would be two of the integral titles that would make people want to subscribe. So that's just my 2 cents. Falcom is teasing that the Legend of Heroes cross-belt titles could be coming to the PlayStation 4. It seems like they're already underway in the early phases of making that happen. Probably not something we're gonna see for quite a while, but nonetheless something I did want to mention. And Moods of Madness has gotten 12 minutes of brand new gameplay, a title that I do think has quite a bit of potential that it will be releasing on Halloween Day. That's gonna conclude this video. Sound off with all of your thoughts in the comment section down below. Thank you for watching, and goodbye. Hey guys, we hope you enjoyed the video, and if you did, make sure to hit the subscribe button, and if you're already subscribed, do us a favor and hit the bell icon. This way you'll be notified whenever we post a new video. That's the best way to keep up with all of our uploads, and we usually try to upload 2 videos a day. And with the bell icon hit, you'll be notified whenever we do upload a video. As always, thanks for watching.